By mid-1950s, the grandfather of all board sports grasped the world with the vice grip. Its culture washed up on every shore, changing everything as we know it, from the clothes we wore all the way down to the way in which we communicate. Surfing created an enormous craze, which eventually led to modern-day board sports. With the invention of skateboarding in 1959, surf culture spread farther to suburban streets, with minor modifications. That same year, longboarding hit the coast of boardwalks nationwide. Skating really picked up in the 1990s with what is known as the skater rebellion. While the skater lifestyle had many followers and supporters, it also received a tremendous amount of backlash from community members as well as government officials. By mid-2000s, longboarding picked up a lot of steam. In contrast to skateboarding at the time, longboarding became increasingly accepted and followed. But why is this the case? In this video, we will discuss the different ways in which society views skating and how different skate cultures impact their opinions. Skateboarding began as a simple wooden box with rollerblade wheels and a pair of handlebars attached. As time went on, wooden boxes were replaced with planks and handlebars were removed. The first commercial skateboard was created by California surf shop owner Bill Richard. At the time, skating was called sidewalk surfing because the boards were developed to mimic the movements of surfboarding. Throughout the 60s and 70s, skateboarding's popularity increased at rapid rates, and by early 1980, there were more people skating than there were playing baseball. This large influx of skaters led to a greater prevalence, as they seemed to take up every sidewalk in cities nationwide. While some looked at their presence as delightful and entertaining, others found it as a nuisance. Business owners began shutting their doors, and the public began to separate themselves from skaters. Complaints began to come in, and by 1984, the first anti-skating laws were passed in Oregon, banning skating at any government building. Slowly, other governments joined in, banning skating in areas and posting no loitering signs in popular skate hangouts. At the same time, punk rock also hit the scene. Punk rock was used as a form of expression and typically viewed as a representation of an anti-establishment society and dislocation of rules. The introduction of punk rock into the skate community is what led to what is known as skate punk, which then led to the movement known as the skate rebellion. The skater rebellion began in the early 1990s. Skaters felt as if they were being suppressed, as they viewed skating as their form of expression. Naturally, skaters took a liking to the interpreted message of punk rock, being that they too wanted less control by the government and freedom to do what they wanted where they wanted. Skate culture morphed from being a sport for kids of all ages just looking for ways to have fun to teens full of angst looking for a means to stand up to the government. Skaters began disregarding rules and guidelines set up by local governments, skating wherever they pleased. This led to more skaters getting into trouble with the law, creating the outlaw stigma that still partially holds true today. Away from the suburban streets and closer along the coast, longboarding reigns supreme. With whopping numbers, it is easy to say that over the years, longboarding has become enormously more popular than skateboarding. Leading longboard manufacturer Honey Skateboards of Colorado reports that they produced and sold over 720,000 longboards in contrast to over 404,000 skateboards in the year of 2015. While it is safe to say that the reasoning is partially due to its similarity to surfing and the need for transportation rather than performing tricks, it is believed that the prime reason is due to the collective grace and elegance that longboarders possess. One of the most common uses of longboarding is carving, which is taking sharp turns and back and forth across a plane. It looks smooth and it doesn't require ramps or rails, simply the road, the board, and the skater. The community has taken in longboarding and appreciates that it has pulled skating away from the previous anti-establishment image that skate punk developed. Longboarding has even been appreciated by older skaters who prefer the smaller board. Stacy Perlotta, a member of the legendary Z-Boys skate team in the 80s, described longboarding as a forgiving experience. It's a beautiful transition. They finally designed a skateboard that is forgiving for middle-aged men and fun for everyone else too. These varying views in society shows a major turning point in history. It is astonishing how these two boards are culturally linked with similar purposes of self-expression, yet their physical motivations are entirely different. These differing subcultures have created a split within society that has generated a silent conflict with no foreseeable end, a conflict that takes a culture and places it against itself. Skateboarding versus longboarding. My name is Yancey Wingard, and thanks for watching.